Okay, so steps 1 and 2 on the right side, I have to, no parentheses, so step 1 I don't have to distribute, but I do have combining like terms. I have the n here and the n here. So we have to understand this is really just one n and positive one n. Okay, so when I combine these, positive 1 and positive 1, that gives me positive 2, and then it's really times n. That's what 2n means. 2 times n, bring down the negative 7. Okay, and then the right or the left side was all cleaned up, so I'm just going to copy that down again. Again, this is really 3 times n there. Okay, so left and right's all cleaned up. We move on to step 3. Okay, we want to check, do I have variables on either side of the equation, on both sides of the equation? And the answer is yes. So I actually have to do step 3. It says move variables together on one side of the equal sign. Okay, here's my rule. I like to move my variables to the left. Okay, so that means this 2n here, we're gonna move them over here. All right, but we can't just do it like that. Anytime we move a variable across the equal sign, we have to do its opposite operation. So if you notice, it's positive 2n, or adding 2n. To move the 2n over to the other side of the equal sign, we do the opposite of adding 2n. So it was adding 2n, but now we're going to subtract 2n. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. Okay, this is step 3. So again, in step 3, I like to move it to the left. You don't always have to move it to the left, but just to make things a little clearer, we're going to move our variables to the left side by adding or subtracting them over. Okay? So keep that in mind, adding or subtracting them over. So now we can do this math. 4, nothing happens to the 4. But now we got to combine these terms. Positive 3n and negative 2n. So the positives are going to win by 1. So it's going to be positive 1n, or just positive n, equals, and then we have negative 7. Step 3 is done. Okay? We don't have to do step 3 anymore. The n's only on one side. Now we could do what we've been doing for the last 3 weeks. Isolate n. So in order to get n by itself, I have to get rid of the 4. What's the 4 doing? It is actually adding. The opposite of addition is subtraction, so we're going to subtract 4 to both sides. 4's cancel out, and then we just do this math. These guys are on the same negative team, so their team is going to get bigger. So we're basically going to add these together and make them a negative team. So it's going to be negative 11. Okay, so just a reminder, step 3, you want to try to move everything to the left, and you want to use addition or subtraction to do that. Okay, so that's our goal. That's basically our new step here. Let's jump over to number 2. Split it down the middle. And then we're going to do steps 1 and 2. Let's clean up the left side. So any parentheses? No. But we do have combining like terms. The positive 7 and the negative 1 can combine. And that's going to give me n plus 6. Okay, and then on the right side, no parentheses, no like terms, but it's 6 plus n. So nothing really happened on the right side. Step 1 and 2 are done for both sides of the equal sign. Now we jump to step 3. I want to move my variables to the left. Okay, so my variable here and a variable here, I want to move the one on the right. Let's move it to the left. So if you look, it's adding n. To move that n, we're going to do the opposite of addition. It's subtracting n. Okay, And something happens a little funky here, and this can happen sometimes in equations. Positive 1n and positive negative n. If you do the math here, it's actually 0. Or in other words, these also cancel out. And you're left with this statement. 6 is equal to 6. Okay? So when the variables cancel out, you'll have a statement that looks like this. So your answer is, when the statement is the same, many solutions. Because 6 is equal to 6, so these are equal to each other, it's many solutions. So I wanted to throw this example in here because this does happen sometimes. This does happen sometimes when you are solving. The variables do cancel out, and if you end up with a true statement, because 6 is equal to 6, your answer would just be many solutions. Okay? All right. Number 3, split it down the middle. This one looks kind of nasty, but we'll get it done. All right. Give you a little time to get that down if you need to. Step 1. Do I have anything on the left side to distribute? No. Do I have like terms? And the answer is 35 and 25. Those are like terms. So let's go ahead and combine them. So they're both positive. So that means they're going to go to the same team. They're going to get bigger. So we're going to add them together and keep them positive. So if I put these together, it's going to give me 60R, and it's positive. And now I'm bring down the 9. Remember, I say 60R, but it's really 60 times R. Okay, just keep that in mind as we go through these problems. Okay, left side is cleaned up. On the right side, no parentheses, so I don't have to distribute, but I do have like terms, 35R and 34R. So we got to add those up. Okay, and that's going to give me 69R. Okay, now we have variables on both sides of the equal sign. So we're jumping to step 3. I want to move my variables to the left. Okay, so that means this 69R positive. I need to add it or subtract it to the other R. So I'm going to add it, subtract it over here. Since it's positive, I'm going to subtract 69R. What you do to one side, you do to the other. These cancel out, and again, it's okay for those to cancel out. They just turn into 0 on the right. On the left, we still have 9. Combine these terms. The negatives are going to win, and they're going to win by 9. So it's going to be negative 9R. Okay? So now step 3 is done. Step 4, we want to isolate the R, which means this 9 has to go away and this 9 has to go away. So we have to remember the rule. Which 9 goes away first? And it's the one that's adding or subtracting. So this 9 is adding. This 9 is actually multiplying. So he gets, we ignore him for now. We want to get rid of this 9 there. Okay, so we're going to subtract the 9 to both sides. And we got negative 9 times R equals negative 9. Let's move this up top because we're running out of room. So negative 9 times R equals negative 9. And then we still have to move this negative 9 is multiplying. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide by negative 9. And R is going to equal negative 9 divided by negative 9. That's going to give me positive 1. Two negatives dividing make it positive. All right. I'm going to give you I'll give you about 4 minutes. I want you to try number 4. Try number 4. 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Problem number 4, I want you to see if you did the same steps as I did and follow along. If you did make a mistake, try to understand your mistake, okay, as I go through these steps. Alright, so cleaning up the left side, the only thing I have on the left side is combining like terms. So first ones I want to combine are 18m and negative 8m. So it's positive 18, negative 8. Okay, so they're on different teams. So when I combine them, who's going to win? And the winner's going to be the 18, and they're going to win by 10. So it's going to be positive 10 times m. Okay, so I combine those. Now, if you look, you can combine negative 20 and negative 8. They're on the same team, so we're essentially going to add them to make a bigger team, and that's going to give me negative 28. All right, the left side's cleaned up. On the right side, we have nothing to clean up, so we're just going to bring that over. Now, my rule is the variables are on 2 different sides, so I want to bring this m, and I want to make it go with this m. But we can't just move it. We got to do its opposite of addition or subtraction. So since it's positive, we're adding 9m, we're going to subtract 9m over. And what you do to one side, do to the other. These cancel, and I'm left with 1m. Let me write this a little cleaner now. So 1m is just m. Bring down the negative 28 equal to negative 33. And now we're at step 4, where we're just going to isolate the m. To get the m by itself, I got to add 28 to both sides. Okay, so now we just do this math. Negative 33, positive 28. So they're on different teams. They're going to battle each other. And the winner's going to be negative, and they're going to win by 5. So negative 5 should be your answer here. Okay, so hopefully you followed along, got that right. If not, try to figure out where you made your mistake, okay? Most mistakes happen with adding and subtracting. So we either add stuff incorrectly or we move the wrong thing first. Just be careful with that. Follow these steps. And if you can do these problems, you can do solve any equation problems in algebra. Okay, guys, add these to the notes due today. So just include these in your notes at the bottom or however you do your notes, okay? I'm going to give you the check-in code. I want you to check in before you leave Zoom. Once you check in, get out of here, start working on the assignment and the review, okay? Don't let that creep up on you because it's going to hurt you on the test. And remember, the test is worth the 100 points. Just to keep that in perspective, all the assignments and quizzes we've been doing have been worth 10 points. So by far, this test is going to be the biggest chunk in your grade so far. Here is your check-in code. Please go to the calendar and check in. Check in now. Don't forget, because I take roll right after this class. Now, if you're not checked in, I mark you absent. All right? If you need to stay